Right now, at this exact moment, while you are watching this video, there is a very good chance that another tab is open on your device, a notification is waiting, or your hand is already moving toward your phone, without you even realizing it. And that single moment, that tiny automatic movement, is exactly what we are going to talk about today. Because that small habit is quietly reshaping your brain, your body, your family, and your future. And most people will never even notice until it is too late. I have spent a long time studying how language connects to life, how the stories we hear shape the way we think, feel, and act. And today, I want to tell you a story, not about grammar, not about vocabulary, but about something far more urgent. I want to tell you the story of what is happening to human minds right now in 2026. What is stealing focus from adults? What is silently damaging the developing brains of children? What is creating distance inside homes where people still live together? And most importantly, what you can actually do about it, starting today. So stay with me until the very end, because the second half of this video contains a practical rescue plan that can genuinely change things for you. And as you listen, you are also going to strengthen your English, because I am going to speak clearly, use real examples, and explain everything in a way that feels natural and easy to follow. That is the whole point of this channel. We grow our English and we grow our lives at the same time. Now, let us begin with a small story. Think about a man named David. He's 34 years old. He has a good job, a wife he loves, 2 young children, a comfortable home. From the outside, his life looks fine. But something has been changing, slowly, over the past 3 years. He wakes up in the morning, and before he even gets out of bed, before he says good morning to his wife, before he brushes his teeth, his hand reaches for his phone. He checks messages, he scrolls through news, he watches a short video, then another. Then suddenly, 25 minutes are gone, and he hasn't moved, he hasn't spoken, he hasn't thought. He's just there, eyes wide, brain half asleep, feeding on content. At dinner, his daughter tries to tell him about something funny that happened at school. He says, "Yes, sweetheart, wait just a moment," while his eyes stay on the screen. The moment passes. His daughter goes quiet. She has learned something without knowing it. She has learned that the phone is more interesting than she is. At night, David can't sleep well. He lies in bed scrolling for another hour. His mind races even when the phone is down. He feels tired the next morning, and the cycle starts again.
He does not think of himself as addicted. He thinks of himself as someone who is just staying connected, just relaxing, just keeping up. But 3 years of this quiet habit have taken something from him that he cannot quite name. This is not a dramatic story. It does not involve tragedy or crisis. It is ordinary. And that is exactly what makes it dangerous. Because the most destructive things in life are often not the loud explosions. They are the slow, quiet, daily erosions that you do not notice until a lot has already been lost. So what is actually happening inside the brain when this kind of phone use becomes a habit? Your brain has a reward system. This system has been with humans for thousands of years. When you do something that helps you survive or feel good, your brain releases a chemical signal that says, "That was good, do it again." This is how humans learn to eat, to connect, to work hard, to celebrate. It is a beautiful system. But like any powerful system, it can be hijacked. Phones are extraordinarily good at hijacking this system, not because they are evil, but because they are designed to keep you engaged. Every time you scroll and find something interesting, your brain gives you a small reward signal. Then you scroll again. Sometimes it is boring. Sometimes it is amazing. Sometimes it is funny. Sometimes it makes you angry. And that unpredictability is the key. Your brain is not chasing a guaranteed reward. It is chasing the possibility of a reward. And that possibility is more addictive than certainty. Now, here is where the real damage begins. Because your brain is a learning machine, it adjusts to whatever environment you give it. If you train your brain to receive small, fast rewards every few seconds, your brain starts to expect that pace. It starts to need that pace. And then, when you sit down to do something that requires slow, deep, sustained attention, like studying or working on an important project or having a real conversation, your brain says, "This is too slow. Where is my reward?" And focus collapses. This is why so many people today say things like, "I can't concentrate the way I used to. I start things but cannot finish them. My mind jumps around. I feel restless even when I'm not busy." This is not a personal weakness. This is a brain that has been trained by its environment. And that means the problem is real, but it also means it can be addressed. Now, let's talk about children, because this is where the stakes become highest. Imagine a little girl named Amara. She's 3 years old. She's at the stage where her brain is growing faster than it will ever grow again in her entire life. Every experience she has, every face she sees, every word she hears, every time she runs outside and falls and gets up again, all of this is building the architecture of her mind. Her brain at this age is like wet concrete. Whatever you press into it leaves a mark. Amara's parents are loving and hardworking, but they are also exhausted. And like many parents today, they have discovered that a phone keeps her quiet when things get difficult. When she cries, a bright screen calms her down. When she gets bored, a cartoon keeps her occupied. And in the short term, it works. The house is quieter. The parents get a break. It feels like a solution. But here's what is happening beneath the surface. Normally, when a baby is upset, the process of being comforted by a real human teaches the brain something critical. It teaches the brain how to return to calm, how to trust, how to feel safe in the presence of another person. A parent's voice, eye contact, gentle touch, a warm hug. These experiences are literally building emotional intelligence inside the child's brain. But when a screen replaces those moments consistently, the brain learns a different lesson. Bright stimulation equals comfort, not connection, not trust, just stimulation. Over time, this creates a child who struggles to self-regulate, who gets frustrated quickly, who needs constant entertainment to feel okay, who finds it difficult to sit quietly, to wait patiently, to listen carefully. And when that child enters a classroom, the brain says, "This does not match what I know. This is not my rhythm." Attention breaks. Learning suffers. And sometimes adults call that child naughty or difficult, when in reality, the child's brain simply learned a different pace. None of this is about judging parents. Parenting today is genuinely hard. The world is fast, work is demanding, and screens are designed to be irresistible. But awareness is the beginning of change. And here's the hopeful truth. Young brains are flexible. If the environment changes, the brain adjusts. Children who get more outdoor play, more real conversation, more sleep, and more consistent presence from caring adults show improvement in focus, emotional control, language development, and overall well-being. The damage is real, but so is the capacity for recovery. Now, let's come back to adults. Meet someone named Rania. She's 41 years old, a professional, a mother, someone who considers herself disciplined. She doesn't think she has a phone problem. She thinks she's simply a modern person living a modern life. But lately, she has noticed some things. She feels tired even after a full night of sleep. She struggles to read more than a few pages of a book before her attention drifts. She feels vaguely anxious most of the time, as if something is about to go wrong, even when nothing actually is. She scrolls through other people's lives and feels a quiet heaviness afterward, a sense that her own life is somehow less than it should be. She and her husband are in the same house, but often feel far apart.